You didn't seriously expect Brighton to take points off Manchester City, did you? We all know this is Pep Guardiola's bread and butter. Personally, I would have loved the Arsenal fans after battering Chelsea and keeping our title aspirations alive and going for another week, filled with optimism, obviously heading into the North London derby, seeing what happened with Liverpool at Goodison Park and how they've tripped up. And mathematically it's still possible, but kind of eliminated themselves from the race. Of course, I would have loved that to have been the case, but the task is simple. With 4 games left against Tottenham, Bournemouth, Manchester City, and Everton, we win all the games. We're Premier League champions. We trip up. There's still mathematical, positives to take from that, but you would imagine it's Manchester City's bread and butter. I won't go as far as to say the neutrals are cheering us on because I don't really care. I just care about what Arsenal were doing. But I think Arsenal need to win for the Premier League. As good as Klopp has been for Liverpool, and you can never underestimate what he's done for that football club and the hallmark he's etched himself into their history in his own way. They've only won 1 Premier League title over the last 9 years. In comparison, directly Liverpool to City. Obviously, there's been some other teams. Pep has turned this into a farmers league. It's unfortunate, but you near enough have to be perfect to win a Premier League or pick Pep Guardiola from the Premier League throne. Again, in previous years, maybe last season, definitely this season, probably we've done enough to win the title, but we have to chase the illusion of perfection because defeating Manchester City requires nothing less. I am going to look back if we don't win this Premier League title with some optimism. This time last year, as good as we were, we crumbled. And when you look at our form with 4 games left, we've probably learned some lessons. But I can't help but think about the North London derby at the Emirates where we should have killed the game in the first 10 minutes. And obviously we made 2 mistakes. The Chelsea game at Stamford Bridge where we took an hour to get into it. The 2 games against Fulham. West Ham at home, we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Aston Villa at home and away, definitely away from home. Newcastle away, and I'm probably missing out some. Now, I know losing and drawing, it's a necessary evil. You can't win them all, but it's an impossible task. As I said, the task is simple. We win our games, we're champions. We slip up, it's over, really and truly, if I'm completely honest with you. City are a different beast. Some players have been in great form. Other players are returning to injuries and really showing the purple patch and showing what Pep Guardiola's men are all about. Obviously, I think them being out of the Champions League will be a bit more of a driver. But while we should have every cause for optimism, I do think the Liverpool game showed that in life, complacency is a killer. Not that I can accuse Liverpool of that, but we're now in the part of the season where upsets happen. Goodison Park, Liverpool have a great record there. The one time they needed that to continue, there was an issue. So we can't have any complacency. Form goes out the window and we need to stand up to be counted. Of course, there's 4 games left. We've played 34 of those. So you have to be an idiot to kind of disregard the backdrop of winning and losing and what that means for the title or whatever other teams are doing. But we literally need to go game by game and focus on the task at hand, people. It is scary. We were the hunters. And now we were the hunters and now we're the hunted. It would be nice if the media, considering the rhetoric, of overachievement, of bottling, of leading the league table, of points gaps. Last season, when it didn't go out for us the way we wanted it, we were called bottlers, which I can hold. We did bottle it. The 2 truths can live in the same realm. I think we did well. We took the league by surprise. Ultimately, crunch time, we crumbled. But when I'm seeing Jamie Carragher and all these people coming out and saying Liverpool have overachieved, that's a fallacy, an absolute fallacy. And even if it's true, it'd be nice to see some consistency. While I can be proud of Arsenal, I think we are on the right direction. I think we are on the right trajectory. I think there's obviously things that Mikel Arteta could do better. And obviously the same goes for the players. I think we've done well. But ultimately, as much as I like what we're doing and things, you do want to win titles. At the end of the day, history is only kind to the victors, and you want Arsenal's name etched in history. So we need to go for it. As Mikel Arteta has previously said once upon a time, this is the most beautiful part of the season. Don't let all the hard work go to waste. All of the work you put in the months building up to August, from August until December, obviously reacting well off the backdrop of we had a bit of a slump at the end of 2023, starting 2024 well. Obviously, because of what we've been doing, it's always a crisis when Arsenal lose. We've bounced back from the Aston Villa defeat, sandwiched in between that, obviously going out of the Champions League to Bayern Munich. And we've hit back well. Again, no brownie points for battering Chelsea, but we showed why we've got one of the best top 6 records also this season, people. To take points off Liverpool and City is a step in the right direction. It'd be nice to beat them at the Etihad or beat them at Anfield, but we're doing what we can. But is it enough? I don't know, people. So we need to keep going. Spurs would love nothing more than to spoil our day. Ironically, they have to play Manchester City. I personally think they're going to bend over backwards for them. But, you know, Spurs, Man United are rivals. Man United more our rivals. You know, Spurs would just, you know, you just diss the fact that we came to this manor. So did you, but we came to your manor and made North London relevant. You can't really be our rivals. You know, if football ended tomorrow, United have done trebles, Arsenal have done invincibles from Madison. But on a serious note, Spurs and United. On a serious note, Spurs and United. Anyone, you can't underestimate anybody within. Make anybody within. Derby does scare me because it's a game where anything can happen, and I think Spurs will take heed from Everton, and you know, just want to stand up to be counted. Don't want Arsenal to have a good day, doing it for their fans off the backdrop of Spurs have had a bit of a wobble. They've got injuries. You know, we beat them at their place last season. When was the last time we did consecutive wins at their place, really? So, and it's a stadium where, well, not now, but it's a ground where I've seen my team win the league. So there's some difficult games. You know, Everton, Bournemouth, Spurs, Manchester United. There's 4 games left. Don't let your hard work go to waste, people. If it does, we pick up and go again. But as I was saying, the Liverpool game serves as a reminder that you cannot write anyone off. No game is a given. While you can talk about football games on paper, you need to go out on the grass and claim the victory. We do that, we're champions. Obviously, you would love City to drop points. As I said earlier, there is a reality where other teams can drop points and things of that ilk, and people, you know, the title can still head to Manchester, Liverpool, or Arsenal. But I think it's a case of we need to control our own destiny. I don't think drawing is good enough. I hope that there's a reality if we do slip up, other teams slip up, but it's winning. You need 12 points. You get the 12 points, we run away from it. And also our goal difference, keeping teams from scoring and scoring goals. Even though us Arsenal fans would love a striker, it says everything, man. And it's hard not to be optimistic. And when I say that, I don't mean blindlessly optimistic, but it's hard not to buy into what we're doing. I know I always sit here and say I don't look at the league table, which I'm maintaining my innocence. I'm definitely not counting my chickens before they hatch. It's hard not to dream of the first Premier League title during the Emirates era. And also it'd be nice for the players and Mikel Arteta, because I think if people could be honest with yourselves, Mikel Arteta is not free from criticism. I'm sure there's some things he would like to do better. I do think it's a bit weird how you've got Arteta sexuals that he could, you know, he could tell you the sky's purple and you'll believe it. There's some haters. I'm in the middle ground where I think he's the man for us until I see something different. I do think the conversation is shifting to can he win a Premier League title? I do think, you know, while I like the multifunctional players, we need a striker, winger, centre mid, etc. But it's hard not to buy into what he's done. But there are some criticisms. For me, I think the conversation slowly but surely now is shifting from one love for the rebuild. We're still doing that stuff, but one love for that. Can we get titles over the line? You know, I think we gave a good account of ourselves in the Champions League. And ironically, I don't think Arteta's done the best in the Europa. But I think in the Champions League, of course, evidently we could have done better. But I think it was respectable. I think we've been throwing the FA Cups away. Premier League, we've been flirting with it, but we haven't quite clarted it, if that makes sense, people. So we need to get over the line. And, you know, for me, because I rate Mikel Arteta so heavy, I hold him to high standards. When you do well, I praise. When you do shaky stuff, I ask questions. But also at the same time, and I think, you know, not for the people that have vested agendas, but genuinely just football talk, if I and a lot more people rate me a lot more people rate Arteta to higher heavens than I do, if they talk about this as one of the hottest managers in the game and one of the best managers in the future, and how good he's doing at Arsenal and how much he's the envy in many ways. We've seen it with certain comments coming out of Man United. From a tactical point of view, Real Madrid are studying what Mikel Arteta did against City going into their game, and Arteta's getting a lot of plaudits. So if he's getting all these plaudits, people rightly are going to say, yo, where's the Prem? Where's the champs? Where's this? Where's that? So it'd be nice for the manager. Respectfully to the manager and the players, they're the ones that are doing the business. So I would like them to do it, but I only really care about myself and the fans. We deserve this. Arsenal fans, young and old, we've been through the trenches. We've been through the war. The Emirates Stadium has had some moments, but let's be honest, it's been filled genuinely with nothing but pain during this era. So it'd be nice, you know, really and truly to win that Premier League title and get it over the line. As I said earlier, the fact that, you know, I think we've learned our lessons in the sense of it was really over by now last season. And I know no 2 seasons are different, but it was really over. So hopefully they've learned their lessons. Players are coming into form. Key players are coming back to fitness. Obviously, a couple of our players in a real bright spark of form. We just need to keep our temperament and go out there. And regardless of what happens, I'm proud of my boys. But there is pride on one hand, but there's a missed opportunity in the other, because we know at some point, Chelsea, Man United, they're going to get their stuff going well. You know, Man City, Pep Guardiola's not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere and being this. And obviously, we're going to keep our trajectory, but it's not always going to be a thing where, you know, Arsenal are just challenging really blindly, really and truly, if that makes sense. So I want to seize the opportunity. Obviously, I want Arsenal's project to bear fruits of the labour. There's been bare labour with these players and Arteta. I personally think if you look at Martin Odegaard's trajectory from when he signed for the club to how he's obviously got better, become the captain, become one of the tactical focal points, you know, I think in a weird way, and I don't know if this makes sense, that reflects collectively the journey Arsenal Football Club have been. That reflects collectively the journey Arsenal Football Club have been on. But as much as I like the journey, as much as I love my football club and I like what we're doing, we're in the business to win trophies. And if we don't, we've got no choice to go again. But the task is simple. There's 12 points up for grabs. Personally, I believe nothing less than 12 points is acceptable, and I think nothing less than 12 points does the job. Now, again, there could be realities, but I'm not too sure on that. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your feelings going into the North London derby and everything Arsenal. Don't forget to hit the like button. Can we get 100 likes? You lot stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.